Sickness strikes, it can feel overwhelming and confusing. The first step is to pause and reflect, seeking understanding about what might have caused your illness. Sometimes the reasons are clear, perhaps a lack of rest, poor diet, or stress. Other times the cause is hidden and you may need to look deeper. In moments like these, many find comfort in turning to God, asking for insight and guidance. This approach not only addresses the physical symptoms but also brings peace to the mind and spirit. Remember, facing sickness is not just about battling symptoms, it's about understanding your whole self, body, mind, and soul. Understanding the root of your sickness is crucial. Sometimes unhealthy habits or unresolved emotions play a role. You might notice patterns like feeling worse after certain foods or during stressful times. Other triggers are less obvious and may require honest self-examination. Ask God to reveal anything you might be missing. This process isn't about blame but about taking steps toward healing. By identifying and addressing these factors, you can prevent relapses and promote longer periods of wellness. Healing often begins with awareness and the willingness to make necessary changes in your life. Many spiritual traditions, including Christianity, sin is seen as a root cause of suffering and sickness. If your illness is connected to specific actions or attitudes, it's important to stop these behaviors. Confessing your struggles, whether they're feelings of bitterness, guilt, or anger, can be a powerful step toward healing. The Bible encourages believers to confess their sins and seek forgiveness, just as King David did. This act of honesty and humility can lift heavy burdens and open the door to physical and emotional restoration. Healing is not just about the body, it's about the heart and soul, too. Prayer is more than a ritual. It's a direct conversation with God, the creator and restorer. When you pray for healing, you're not just asking for relief, you're inviting God's presence into your journey. Unlike medicine, prayer has no limits on frequency or strength. It's the foundation of spiritual healing and can be combined with medical treatments for a holistic approach. The Bible is filled with examples of people praying for healing and receiving God's mercy. Remember, prayer is not a last resort but a vital part of your healing process, offering hope and comfort even in the toughest times. You pray for healing, be specific about your needs. Instead of general requests, tell God exactly what you're struggling with, whether it's a digestive issue, chronic pain, or emotional distress. Ask yourself why you seek healing and how it will change your life. This kind of honest, focused prayer helps you clarify your intentions and deepens your relationship with God. It's not about convincing God but about aligning your heart with His will. Being specific in prayer also helps you recognize and appreciate the ways God answers, sometimes in unexpected but meaningful ways. Many people seek relief from physical sickness but overlook the deeper need for spiritual healing. True restoration involves both body and soul. Some may only turn to God when they want something, but lasting healing comes from a sincere desire for God Himself, not just His gifts. The story of Naaman in the Bible reminds us that gratitude and commitment to God should follow healing, not just precede it. Ask yourself, do you want healing only for comfort, or are you willing to use your renewed health to serve and honor God? This mindset shift can transform your journey. Praying for God's will can be challenging, especially when facing serious illness. Sometimes people fear that God's will means accepting suffering, but faith is not about resisting God's plan, it's about trusting that His will includes healing and restoration. Jesus Himself prayed for God's will before facing the cross, showing us the importance of surrender. Whether you're dealing with a minor ailment or a major disease, pray for healing according to God's will. If healing doesn't come as expected, ask for the grace to accept and grow through your circumstances, knowing that God's love remains constant. Sometimes healing happens in ways that surprise even doctors. Rapid recoveries or unexplained improvements are often called miracles. While medical professionals may focus on physical treatments, spiritual intervention like prayer can play a significant role. The connection between body, mind, and spirit means that prayer and faith can influence recovery. Don't underestimate the power of spiritual support alongside medical care. When you see progress, consider the possibility that God is at work, using both natural and supernatural means to bring about healing. The Bible is a rich source of encouragement and guidance for those seeking healing. Reading stories of recovery and passages about health can strengthen your faith and hope. These accounts remind us that God's mercy and grace are available to all who seek Him. By immersing yourself in these truths, you gain a deeper understanding of how God works in the lives of His people. Let these words inspire you to pray boldly and trust in God's ability to heal, no matter how difficult your situation may seem. Healing is ultimately an expression of God's mercy and grace. Many people in the Bible, like the 10 lepers, called out for mercy and received healing. When you experience recovery, don't just thank God for the outcome, thank Him for His kindness and presence throughout your journey. Recognize that God specializes in the impossible and His power is greater than any disease. Even when medical advances seem impressive, remember that true healing comes from God, who is the source of all restoration. In today's world, it's easy to doubt God's healing power, especially with so many medical options available. Yet faith is essential. The Bible encourages believers to cry out, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." Don't let skepticism or past disappointments keep you from trusting in God's ability to heal. Even when healing doesn't happen instantly or in the way you expect, keep believing. Faith opens the door to possibilities that go beyond human understanding and medical science. It's important to acknowledge that God is the ultimate healer. While doctors, medicine, and technology play vital roles, they are instruments through which God works. Healing doesn't come from man alone. Even when you use medication or undergo treatment, remember that recovery is possible because God enables your body to respond. Just as Naaman realized after being healed of leprosy, give credit to God for your healing, not just to human efforts or medical advancement. Doctors and medical professionals do their best, but their knowledge has limits. Sometimes the cause of an illness remains unknown or treatments don't work as expected. God, however, knows every detail about your body and your condition. Even when tests are inconclusive or diagnoses are unclear, trust that God understands what you're facing. He's not limited by human knowledge or technology, and his healing power reaches where medicine cannot. Sometimes you may not even know the name or cause of your illness. This can be frightening, but remember that God is omniscient. He knows every disease, even those unknown to man. You don't need perfect knowledge or the right words for God to understand your needs. Whether your condition is rare, complicated, or simply mysterious, God is able to heal and restore. Bring your concerns to him, trusting that nothing is hidden from his sight. The Bible tells stories of people healed without a clear diagnosis or explanation. Bartimaeus, for example, was blind, but Jesus didn't need to know the medical details to heal him. God's power is not limited by human understanding or medical records. Even if you can't explain your symptoms or doctors are puzzled, God can still bring healing. Trust that he sees the full picture and is able to act on your behalf. Though your recovery is partial or complete, always thank God for his healing. Gratitude is a powerful way to acknowledge God's work in your life. Even if someone else wasn't healed in the same way, it doesn't diminish God's power or love. Thanking God keeps your heart humble and focused on his goodness regardless of the outcome. Remember, every bit of improvement is a reason to give thanks. Some people believe God can only heal certain illnesses or those in early stages. But the Bible teaches that God heals all diseases, no matter how severe or numerous. Whether you're young or old, facing a minor ailment or a terminal illness, God's healing power is not limited. Take courage from the stories of Jesus healing every kind of sickness and Paul performing miracles. Trust that God, who created your body, is more than able to restore it. Healing can happen instantly or over time. In the Bible, some were healed in a moment while others recovered gradually. Don't be discouraged if your progress is slow. Even partial recovery is evidence of God's work. Sometimes healing comes in stages and each step forward is a victory. Celebrate every improvement, knowing that God is with you throughout the process, whether it's quick or takes time. Faith for healing isn't just positive thinking or the power of suggestion. Many people have been healed even when they couldn't pray for themselves, like those in a coma or asleep. Sometimes it's the prayers of others that bring about healing. God's power is not limited by our circumstances or abilities. Trust that he can work in ways you can't imagine and let your faith rest in his strength, not your own. Navigating healthcare decisions can be overwhelming. Pray for God's guidance in every step: what to eat, which treatments to pursue, and how to care for your body. Medical advice is valuable, but only God knows what's best for you personally. Ask him for wisdom, insight, and understanding. Trust that he will lead you to the right choices even when information is incomplete or confusing. God's guidance brings peace and clarity in the midst of uncertainty. Every person is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. Even with the same diagnosis and treatment, bodies respond differently. That's why it's important to seek God's direction for your specific situation. Ask him about the details: what to use, how much, and when. God cares about every aspect of your health and will guide you in making choices that are right for you. Who or what do you trust when you're sick? It's easy to rely on doctors, medicine, or even your own strength, but true healing comes from trusting God above all else. Medical care is important, but it's God who brings recovery. Don't wait until all other options are exhausted before turning to him. Make faith your first response, not your last resort. Trusting God completely means believing he is the source of all healing. It's not wrong to seek medical help. Jesus himself acknowledged the value of physicians, and the Bible mentions doctors like Luke. God gives wisdom to healthcare professionals and uses their skills to bring healing. Use the treatments and medications prescribed as long as they align with your faith and values. Remember, God can work through medicine, therapy, and technology to restore your health. Not all treatments are beneficial or safe. Be cautious about methods rooted in practices contrary to your beliefs, such as witchcraft or idolatry. Some popular therapies may have hidden dangers or spiritual risks. Always seek God's wisdom before trying new treatments and avoid anything that compromises your faith. Trust that God will guide you to safe and effective options for your healing. Don't overlook the healing power of simple things like a warm bath, healthy foods, or rest. In the Bible, basic remedies like figs and balms were used for healing. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. Pay attention to your daily habits and routines and make small changes that support your recovery. God often uses ordinary means to bring about extraordinary results. Before undergoing any medical procedure or taking medication, pray for God's blessing and protection. Complications can arise at any stage of treatment, from surgery to medication errors. Ask God to guide the hands of doctors, protect you from harm, and ensure that every aspect of your care is effective. Prayer covers not just the big moments but every detail of your healing journey. Adhering to medical advice is essential for recovery. Take medications as prescribed, follow dietary guidelines, and complete recommended therapies. Skipping doses or ignoring instructions can delay healing or cause complications. Even natural or over-the-counter remedies should be used responsibly. Obedience to these guidelines reflects wisdom and respect for the healing process God has set in motion. Before using any medication, device, or treatment, ask God to bless it for your healing. Pray that it will work effectively and without harmful side effects. This practice acknowledges God's sovereignty over every aspect of your care. Whether it's a tablet, ointment, or assistive device, invite God's blessing and protection. Trust that he can use these tools for your good. Food is not just nourishment, it can also be medicine. Pray for God's blessing on everything you eat and drink, including snacks and beverages. Ask him to use these for your healing and strength. Be mindful of what you consume, choosing foods that promote health and avoid those that may harm you. Thank God for his provision and trust that he will use even simple meals for your benefit. As a believer, your body is considered a temple. Pray that everything you consume, food, drink, or medicine, will be sanctified and used for good. This practice not only honors God but also protects you from harm. Even if you're unsure about the origins of certain foods, prayer can set them apart for your health and well-being. Make it a habit to thank God for every meal and every remedy. If your illness allows, avoid staying in bed all day. Change your position regularly, sit in different rooms, go outside for fresh air, or take short trips if possible. Sunlight and a change of scenery can lift your mood and prevent complications like pressure sores. Even small movements help maintain circulation and support recovery. Embrace these simple changes as part of your healing journey. Everyday activities like singing, reading, or writing have therapeutic value. Singing hymns can uplift your spirit, improve memory, and even enhance physical coordination. Reading and writing stimulate your mind and help maintain cognitive function. Don't underestimate the power of these simple actions. They contribute to your overall well-being and can accelerate your recovery. If you're bedridden, find activities you can do from bed, like knitting, reading, or simple stretches. These keep your mind engaged and your body active. Even small movements help maintain circulation and prevent complications. Use technology like a smartphone or tablet to stay connected and stimulated. Every effort counts toward your recovery, no matter how limited your mobility may be. Living with a disability or chronic illness can be challenging, but God's grace is sufficient for every day. Ask Him for strength and wisdom to overcome obstacles and enjoy life despite limitations. The Apostle Paul was reminded that God's strength is made perfect in weakness. Let this truth encourage you to rely on God's grace, knowing that it is more than enough for whatever you face. Physical healing is important, but inner strength is just as vital. Pray for renewal of your spirit, especially if you're dealing with long-term illness or disability. The Bible teaches that while our bodies may weaken, our inner selves can be renewed daily. This inner strength sustains you through difficult times and helps you maintain hope and joy, no matter your circumstances. Knowledge is empowering. Seek credible information about your illness from books, videos, or healthcare professionals. Understanding your condition helps you make informed decisions and participate actively in your care. Look for resources that offer practical advice and demonstrations. The more you know, the better equipped you are to manage your health and recovery. Attending church, if possible, can be a source of spiritual strength and encouragement. Being in the presence of God and fellow believers uplifts your spirit and renews your faith. Even if you're hospitalized, visiting a chapel or joining a service online can provide comfort and a sense of community. Let worship and fellowship be part of your healing journey. Gratitude should extend to every aspect of your treatment and recovery. Thank God for doctors, nurses, medication, transportation, and even small improvements in your health. Recognize the many steps involved in daily activities and give thanks for the abilities you still have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's possible, fostering a positive outlook and deeper faith. Sometimes, what seems like a setback is actually a blessing in disguise. A scar shows healing, and expired medication means you didn't need it. Even partial recovery or protection from worse outcomes is a reason to be thankful. Look for the hidden blessings in your journey and let them remind you of God's ongoing care. Listening to Christian music, sermons, or uplifting programs can boost your mood and support your healing. If you find it hard to engage with sermons, start with instrumental music or familiar songs. Singing along, even silently, can lift your spirit and help your body heal. Laughter and joy are also powerful medicines. Don't hesitate to enjoy uplifting entertainment as part of your recovery. Diet plays a significant role in healing. Increase your intake of fruits, vegetables, and healthy foods while reducing salt, fat, and sugar. Avoid foods that may have been dedicated to other gods if it conflicts with your beliefs. Like Daniel in the Bible, making wise food choices can lead to better health and honor your faith. Let your diet support your body's recovery. Sometimes, healing requires changing your daily habits, like exercising more, sleeping longer, or protecting your skin from the sun. Small adjustments can make a big difference. Be open to new routines and let go of habits that hinder your recovery. Trust that these changes, though challenging at first, will contribute to your overall well-being. Assistive devices like orthopedic pillows, wheelchairs, or hearing aids can greatly improve your quality of life. Don't hesitate to use these tools if they help you function better. They are part of God's provision for your needs. Embrace the support they offer and use them as needed to enhance your daily living and recovery. What you wear can affect your health. Choose comfortable, loose-fitting clothes to prevent discomfort or complications. Protect yourself from the cold, wear proper shoes, and cover sensitive areas as needed. These small adjustments can prevent further illness and support your recovery. Pay attention to your body's needs and dress accordingly. Allowing others to assist you is not a sign of weakness but of wisdom and humility. Accepting help benefits both you and those who care for you. God often provides support through the hands of others. Recognize this assistance as a blessing and let it remind you that you are not alone on your journey to healing. Medical care can be expensive and not everyone has access to all the resources they need. Pray for God's provision for finances, medication, and necessary treatments. Trust that God is the source of every good thing and will supply your needs according to His riches. Whether you have insurance or not, bring your needs to God and rely on His faithful provision.